Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 10 of Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode. You may notice some things look a bit different. I have been doing a bit of building, some miscellaneous cleanup things around the base, and I also progressed quite a bit through the thaumcraft. So I got our infusion altar, I got the essentia smeltery, and I got some jars set up. I'll show you that in a bit. I've also set up an area to automatically create starlight, and a separate area to grow celestial crystals. And then finally I set up the blood magic blood altar outline, which is something I think I'm going to start today. So first of all, I'll quickly show you the thaumcraft setup we got. Right, so here's the current setup for thaumcraft here. I have the void jars with all the labels for the, the aspects for thaumcraft. I've got my thaumium essentia smeltery and the thaumatorium here. So if we take a look at the thaumanomicon here, I got quite a bit of the quests done. I got quite a lot of alchemy. I got all the way to the end actually for the advanced essentia transport, and that's what's filling these jars. And then I have my infusion set up here, and a bunch of candles downstairs as well for infusion stability. I still haven't even used this thing, I just set it up because I knew we would need it for some of the crafts later on for the quests. But yeah, if you don't know, these candles will stabilize this altar, and if you don't stabilize it, you could end up with some really bad purple in your base. I'm not going to go into it too much because, to be perfectly honest, I don't know the exact mechanics of how it works, but if you're about to start thaumcraft, just be careful you don't turn your whole base purple and have void things everywhere. Basically, if you keep an eye on your thermometer up on the top left hand corner, you don't want the dark purple to go above the pink. So I don't have any flux in the area right now, which is good. There might be some, actually no, I think here we've got 10.5, 11.5 here. Basically you don't want that to go too high, otherwise you could have some accidents. Oh, you can scan this guy. Anyways, this gets us the basics and will allow us to progress through the thaumcraft quests. Next I decided to set up a system to give us automatic starlight. So I'm just using an ender chest here this is hooked up to an interface on the ME system, just providing aquamarine. And those are all going into light wells, and then the starlight is going into an ender tank. And the ender tank's connected to this system over here, and this is for growing celestial crystals. So this is the ender tank here that's connected up there. They're all connected to fluid placers that place the liquid in the world, and then as you can see, when it runs out it automatically places a fresh bucket. And I'm just growing some celestial crystals here. So if you don't know how this works, basically the crystals have 3 stats. So we have size, purity and cutting. Obviously the higher the better for each one, for each stat. So in order to raise size, we have to grow it in the starlight, which is what happens with all of these ones. And once it reaches max size, it has a chance to split in 2. And once it splits in 2, it has a chance to increase the purity. On average, each split gives you around 5 to 15 purity every time it splits. And then to increase the cutting, we have to take it over here to a grindstone and cut it down. But when you're cutting, you have to keep an eye on the size. So if we see size 386 there, if I put this on here and cut it down, we should see the size go up and the size go down and the purity go up, and that also raised the cutting. So then we can throw it back in and duplicate it and then get a higher size, and then keep repeating the process for perfect crystals, which is what we're going for. And then over here we have the blood magic set up. This is just the frame right now of where the slates are going to be, and I haven't crafted the altar yet. I'm just trying to lay out where everything's going to be. And I think this is probably going to be the best place for it. Eventually the astral sorcery is going to be moved here once we get the upgraded altar as well. Right now it's just about 300 blocks that way. with next to the waypoint. And the last thing I done here was I added these walkways and changed some of the stairs on the walls just to give it a bit more colour, and I think it looks really good from the top especially. Of course there's still quite a lot of building to do here, but it's a good start to the walls section here. So the next thing I'd like to start working on here is upgrading our starlight crafting altar, and that'll unlock some more recipes, and it's also the next step in our quest here to get the celestial altar. So for this we need some aquamarine, which we already have thousands of. Rock crystals, we're getting those. Arcane pedestals, I was able to craft these up and unlock them through research last night, so that just takes some arcane stone. Stardust, we have some of that from our void ore miners. Thaumium blocks, I also made a batch of this as well. And lastly, we need reinforced slates, which means we need to start blood magic. So we're going to need a blood altar. I think everything here we can craft. I have some brass on hand, the arcane stone, a furnace. Living rock we have automated. Some glass lenses, I think I have a few of those left. So all that's missing is demonic will. And demonic will, we need to kill mobs with a sentient weapon, or we need these snares. Alright, the snares don't look too bad. I'm going to craft a bunch of those. Alright, and there is our snares. I have some more fabric here, I'll just make some more. So with the snares we have to collect some demonic will, as the quest is telling us here. So we basically throw the snares at the mobs and then kill them, and they'll have a chance to drop demonic will, which we need to craft the blood altar. Alright, there's some zombies here. It doesn't always work when you throw the snares. You might have to... Yeah, we have to wait for some particles there, so hopefully he drops it. I'll try another, guys. Yeah, I can see it there. You got particles as well? I think so. So how many did we get? Just the one? Oh no, we get two. Yeah, this thing with the arcane workbench is happening again. It's showing 0 available, and I have no idea why. Like it says 126 in the chunk. There's some weirdness going on. I don't know what it is exactly. So if you do know, let me know. Moving the table outside seems to have fixed it again, so there's just some mirrored glass for our altar. Last thing we need here is a furnace, so I think I have those on autocraft. There we go, and that's our blood altar. So let's go and set it up on the multi-block, and I think we'll start by automating the slate production. And in order to craft on the blood altar, you're going to need some blood. To begin with, we're just going to use the sacrificial dagger. So we can use the soul scribe from Botania, that's a mana pearl, mana steel and living wood. We can do that. There we go, there's our soul scribe. And the sacrificial dagger. So in order to use the dagger, we just have to right click near the altar. And as you can see on the tooltip at the top, it says the life essence. Right now we're capped at 10,000, and we're actually getting quite a decent amount here, but the crafts do require quite a bit down the line. Anyways, we need a mana diamond, which we craft in the mana pools, and then we need 2,000 life essence for the weak blood orb. So that's consuming our blood, and we should get the blood orb. There we go. So if we right click this, we bind it to ourselves, and then this fills our life essence network once it's in the altar. So with that, we can now craft blank slates. Alright, so it's now been a couple hours actually in real life time, so I'm just going to get back at this. So I believe we were crafting blank slates, so I just quickly hooked up a system to semi-automate it. So we can put our living rock in here, and then have a transfer node here with a transfer filter on single item mode. So this will only put one item at a time in the altar, and if you put more than one, it'll try to craft them all at once. However, if you don't have enough life essence in the altar, it'll actually craft backwards, which isn't good for this stage, since we don't have any way of automatically getting life essence. And you also notice that it didn't go in straight away until I started filling it with blood, and that's because I have this liquid monitor here, monitoring the altar. If it's less than 20% full, then it emits a redstone signal here, which turns off the transfer pipe, and no more of the living rock will enter the altar. And then on this side I just have a item conduit pulling out the slates. So in order to level up our blood altar here, we're going to need 8 blank slates around where this terracotta is. So I'm going to quickly gather those up and craft the slates. Alright, I have enough for the 8 blank runes, or 10 actually, but we can now upgrade our altar to tier 2. The altar is now sitting at tier 2, although it does not display it right now. If we craft this divination sigil, it shows us some more detailed information. So for that we're going to need arcane ashes, which means we need a hellfire forge, and we're going to need this in a bit anyway, so let's just craft it just now. There's the hellfire forge. I'm also going to get a tartaric gem, which is like a blood magic's version of a battery. So that's crafted in the hellfire forge. We're going to need 1 demonic will for that. But yeah, this allows us to basically store demonic will in here. So if we throw this on the ground and we have one of these in our inventory, it should enter the tartaric gem, yeah. And the easiest way for us to fill these is by using a sentient sword. Instead of throwing snares at mobs, if you kill a mob with a sentient sword, it gives you their will and your tartaric gem. So let's just make one of those just now. So we just combine an iron sword here with the tartaric gem, and this will give us the sentient sword. So now any enemies we kill with the sentient sword will give us will in the tartaric gem. Although I need to make another one now since that used it. Alright, let's make some arcane ashes so that we can use this to craft, and I'll show you what I mean in a sec. So to make this divination sigil, you place down the ashes, and then, is it redstone first or slates? I always forget the order. Okay, I was wrong. Let's try this again. Redstone first, yeah. Redstone first, then slates. It'll give you this little animation, and then we'll get our divination sigil. And with this in our hand, we can now see more detailed tooltip at the top there. So it says our current tier is tier 2, current capacity is 10,000, and current essence is 150. So I'm just going to take some time here, probably upgrade to tier 3, and then we'll see where we go from there. Mistakes were made. So I ended up dying with the sacrificial dagger. It's the first time that's ever happened to me, but oh well. I'm now 1500 blocks away. I've got a bit of a hike. While I make this painful trip back, it's still another 800 blocks to go. I just want to quickly mention that I've tweaked some mic settings. You might have noticed during the episode here. I recently got a new mic stand, so it's the same microphone, but and I also changed some of the settings on it as well. So I'm still trying to get it the way I want it, but hopefully by next time I should have it all sorted. Anyways, I've still got a while to swim here. I hope I don't run out of food either, but yeah, let me get back to base. Alright, I'm almost there. I've got an army of skeletons to pass first though. I managed to scrounge enough food from the grass, those palms grass blocks that give you a bunch of stuff. Oh, don't die now. I should have set my spawn at the bed over there. Alright, I think we made it. And angel ring. Crafted enough of these blank runes for the tier 3 altar here. So if we take our sigil, you can see it's tier 3. I'm going to leave it here for now, and I'll probably level it up some more later on. Anyways, with our blood magic now started, let's get back to what we were doing originally, which is to make the celestial altar. And that requires the reinforced slates. So in order to make these, we have to put the blank slates back in. And this requires 2000 life essence. So I'm I'm going to make some of them and gather the materials for the celestial altar. Right, I've waited for night time. I've gathered up all the materials I need for the celestial altar here. So I just need the wand. Hit with the wand, and this will upgrade our table. This also requires a bigger multi-block structure. So I've brought along some marble here as well. I love this animation, it's so good. Astral sorcery is one of the coolest looking mods in my opinion, I think. Anyways, let's pick it up for the quest. There we go. And I'll rebuild this multi-block. Alright, I got all the multi-block placed here. And this is our new celestial altar. So let's just talk a bit about what the plan is going forward here. I'd like to get the ritual from astral sorcery that stops mob spawning. So I think that's going to be next on the list. I'm also going to look to fully automate blood magic here with one of the rituals and probably use either witches or some other kind of mob and regen them. I'm happy I managed to get most of the way through thaumcraft. There's just a few bits and pieces left, but I would say the hard bit of it is already done. In Britannia, I'll need to think about mana generation. I'm leaning towards this Kikimuris flower for mana generation, and then we'll have to fight the Gaia Guardian and set up the portal to the Elven portal. So that's something that still has to be done. And then after that, it's pretty much on to Draconic Evolution. We now have everything in order to make the Draconic core. So I have the plutonium from the original reactor, the litherite from the void ore miners, and then we're getting draconium already from the ore miners as well. So I just have to set up some basic processing for that, and that'll be through the sag mill, which we now have unlocked. I'll also set up flux networks very soon as well to transfer power, and that'll be used for our combination crafting. So I'd say we're getting in nearly till late game, and then after Draconic, which is going to take a while, we have to get all the tools, and that requires the Twilight Forest as well, so that's quite a big undertaking. But then after that, we're on to bragging rights. Obviously it's still going to take quite a while, but that's kind of the general path that we're going to be on. And then in between there's going to be a lot of building as well, as I would really like to finish off that project, and then yeah, we'll see where we go from there. Anyways, that's going to wrap this up. Thanks very much for watching. Let me know about the mic settings as well. I'll try and get it sorted for next time. And yeah, see you in the next one.